Hello, my name is Gabby and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, then welcome to my channel, and today's video is going to be a reading update because I do have about 3 different things that I'm reading right now and I haven't finished any of them yet. Well, except one is kind of finished, but we'll get there. So today we're going to be talking about the parts of these books that I have finished so far. Their content warnings will be linked down below in the description, and let's go ahead and get into it. And first up is Good Omens by Neil Gaiman and Terry Pratchett. This is supposed to be a fun comedy about an angel and a demon teaming up to stop the apocalypse by finding and killing the Antichrist. For the most part, that is exactly what this has been so far. I'm currently on page 98. The chapters are very long. I would actually more so call them sections with some little breaks in the middle of them, and I am currently stopped at one of those little breaks. There's been some fun banter and some fun comedy that I've really enjoyed. There's also been some that I haven't really enjoyed, and then there's also some parts of this where I've been just kind of confused. I do think that could be because of the writing style, but also kind of the structure of the way the story is being told. I'm also having trouble keeping track of anyone who isn't named Crowley or Aziraphale, but I am starting to get there. What this has mostly done for me is just make me excited to watch the show, because I have heard really good things, and thanks to the Red, White, and Royal Blue movie, I now have a reason to have Prime Video for at least 30 more days. I do think that this might be one of those cases where I'm not going to get fully invested into this until I watch the show. Like, I have been really enjoying this so far, but I'm not sure that that love is going to come until either I watch the show or at least like when I look back on this after I'm already done it. Or maybe it'll come at some point as I keep reading. It's certainly possible, but we'll see. And speaking of Prime Video, next up is the Summer I Turned Pretty trilogy by Jenny Han. This follows our main character who spends every summer at a beach house with 2 boys who have never really noticed her despite her noticing them until they do this summer, and everything begins to change both for the better and for the worse. This is a bind-up of the trilogy. I actually read the first book very recently. It was an experience. I didn't hate Belly as much as I thought I would going into this, but also her and one of her love interests, Conrad, they were very unlikable, and there were quite a few unlikable characters throughout this story. There were a lot of them that did very unlikable things, and on that note, this book does have a handful of problematic scenes and elements that were not good. I think this trilogy came out from like 2009 to 2011, and it definitely reads like it sometimes. I went into this book expecting like a really trashy love triangle summer romance type of situation, and that's what this is. That's what it does. My biggest compliment to this book is that I think that it does have a really nice summery atmosphere. It was also a very quick read, and that combined with like the messy, trashy summer romance made it kind of readable, even though not everything that I was reading was very readable. Would I be continuing on with this series if the show didn't exist? I honestly don't know. Like I said, I got through it pretty quickly, so maybe just for completion purposes, but I have watched a few episodes of the show so far. I really like what they've done and a lot of the changes that they've made. I still don't like Conrad. I do think that the show does a better job at depicting just like messy teenagers in a likable way. Again, love the summery atmosphere. I also love the moms. I love seeing them get more attention. So yeah, the adaptation definitely working a lot better for me, and I'll probably be reading along with it because of that, so that means I'll probably be reading the second book of this very soon, which should be something. Like, this story is ridiculous, both in a good and bad way, but still ridiculous. I also think that somewhere within the series is probably an interesting commentary surrounding teenagers and feeling like you have to have certain things, feeling like you have to fit in and behave in certain ways. I do not have the energy to look for that within this trilogy, but I feel like the show might be diving into it more, so I'll leave that to them for now. And finally, I am currently on page 94 of Solitaire by Alice Oseman. This is Alice Oseman's debut novel. It follows our main character, Tori Spring, who is facing a lot of harsh realities and is confused on how to handle certain things that are going on in her life. I do think that that is probably a good description on what has been going on so far. Tori is facing a lot of really dark things. The author's note in the front of this book talks about this, but there's definitely a tone shift from Heartstopper to this book. It kind of reminds me of just being in the darker Heartstopper storylines for like the entire thing. There's also a weirder plot line going on surrounding like a secret group or at least like a secret person and a secret website, and that is actually pretty interesting. This book has some mystery elements to it that I wasn't expecting going in, but that I'm glad that's there. There has also been some really strong moments between the characters. There was one moment between Tori and Nick that I really didn't like, where she does kind of blame Nick for something that happens with Charlie's mental health, so I would love to see them walk that back. And again, I do want to give another quick reminder of the content warnings. They will be linked down below in the description. This book also does have an author note in the front that does dive into it more. I don't know, this one feels different. Like, it feels YA, but also in a good way. I'm not sure that this will be my favorite Alice Oseman book by the time that I'm done with it, but there are still parts of it that I am enjoying, and I'll probably end up finishing it soon. Okay, so that is all that I have for today's video. I still have a lot of my summer TBR left. There are a couple of them that I don't mind if they roll over into the fall, but there are definitely some that I really want to squeeze in before summer officially ends, so we'll see how that goes. So with that, thank you all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, and answer the question that'll be around here if you want to do that, and hopefully I will see you here next time. Bye!